Africa is a continent rich in natural resources, particularly oil and gas. Several African nations have become key players in the global oil industry due to their substantial reserves. Among these, Nigeria, Libya, and Angola stand out as the top three countries with the largest proven oil reserves. Let's explore each of these nations, their reserves, and their significance in the global energy landscape. Nigeria boasts the largest oil reserves in Africa, with estimated proven reserves of approximately 37 billion barrels as of 2023. It is also the continent's leading oil producer, contributing around 1.4 million barrels per day to global markets. Nigeria's oil industry is primarily centered around the Niger Delta region, which is rich in hydrocarbon deposits. Nigeria's oil sector began to develop significantly in the 1950s, with the discovery of large offshore fields. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, manages the country's oil resources, alongside international oil companies like Shell, ExxonMobil, and Chevron. Oil exports account for roughly 90% of Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings and about 70% of government revenue. Despite its wealth of resources, Nigeria faces challenges such as political instability, corruption, oil theft, and environmental degradation, particularly in the Niger Delta. The pollution caused by oil spills has had devastating effects on local communities and ecosystems. Nevertheless, Nigeria is actively exploring diversification strategies to reduce its reliance on oil and develop other sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing. Nigeria's proven reserves are expected to sustain its oil industry for decades. The country is also investing in deepwater exploration and technological advancements to tap into remaining reserves. However, global shifts toward renewable energy and the push for cleaner fuels could influence Nigeria's oil-dependent economy in the future. Libya holds Africa's largest proven oil reserves, estimated at around 48 billion barrels, making it the 11th largest globally. The country is a significant oil producer, with daily outputs averaging 1.2 million barrels in recent years. Most of Libya's oil fields are located in the Sirte Basin, which is among the most prolific hydrocarbon regions in Africa. Libyan oil production began in the 1960s, with the country becoming a member of OPEC in 1962. The industry was nationalized early on, with the government controlling the majority of oil operations. Libya's oil sector has historically been a major revenue source, accounting for approximately 60% of GDP and 95% of export earnings. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has faced ongoing political turmoil, civil conflict, and disruptions to oil production. These upheavals have led to fluctuating output levels, with production sometimes dropping below 1 million barrels per day. Despite these challenges, Libya's reserves remain substantial, and efforts are underway to restore and expand production capacity. Libya's economy is heavily dependent on oil, making it vulnerable to global oil price fluctuations. Political instability hampers investment and infrastructure development. Moreover, the country faces environmental concerns related to oil spills and aging infrastructure. If stability is restored, Libya's vast reserves and existing infrastructure could support a significant increase in production. The country's strategic location near Europe also enhances its importance in global energy markets. Angola. Angola ranks third in Africa for oil reserves, with proven reserves estimated at about 8.2 billion barrels as of 2023. It is also a major oil producer on the continent, with daily production averaging around 1.2 million barrels. The Angolan oil industry is primarily offshore, with significant fields in the Gulf of Guinea. Oil exploration in Angola began in the 1950s, with the industry expanding rapidly after independence in 1975. The government established Sonangol, a state-owned oil company, to oversee exploration and production. International firms like Total, BP, and Eni operate extensively in Angola's offshore fields. Oil exports constitute about 45% of Angola's GDP and 70% of government revenues, making the country heavily reliant on oil. Despite its reserves, Angola faces challenges such as corruption, fluctuating oil prices, and the need for economic diversification. Oil exploration and production have led to environmental concerns, including oil spills and habitat disruption in marine ecosystems. Additionally, economic inequality and unemployment remain challenges, highlighting the need for socio-economic reforms. Angola's substantial reserves and production capacity position it as a key energy supplier in Africa and globally. Continued investment in upstream and downstream sectors, along with efforts to diversify the economy, are vital for sustainable growth. In summary, Nigeria, Libya, and Angola are the top 3 African nations with the largest proven oil reserves. Each country plays a crucial role in the global energy market, yet each faces distinct challenges related to political stability, environmental sustainability, and economic diversification. Nigeria leads with its vast reserves and high production, but it must address environmental and governance issues. Libya holds the largest reserves but struggles with political turmoil that hampers consistent output. Angola combines significant reserves with a strategic offshore presence, yet remains vulnerable to global price fluctuations and internal economic challenges. As the world increasingly shifts toward renewable energy, these nations' future in the oil industry will depend on their ability to adapt, innovate, and diversify their economies while managing the environmental impacts of hydrocarbon extraction. Please subscribe to our channel and like and share our videos.